another trend up into new all-time highs after FOMC this week, let's talk about the plan for where to buy the dip and when to start looking short on ES this week. We opened up this week basing above 66.43 and then broke out to new highs above 66.62 on Monday. From then, we spent time basing above 66.62 into FOMC, and the major moment this week was the response from buyers to step in and defend one of our key pivots at 66.19 after the FOMC sell-off. This was resistance last week. We broke that out and were able to get into 66.43 and 66.62. After the FOMC reaction and sell-off, buyers stepped in with a strong response, retraced the entire FOMC sell-off into 66.82 and then cleared 66.82 for continuation up overnight into Thursday. Breaking through 66.82 on Thursday after FOMC took us to new all-time highs again, and we spent the rest of the week basing above 66.82 before spiking to a new all-time high again into the Friday close. With such a strong buy the dip trend mode right now, the short side continues to be very difficult and hard to see follow through. The best short setup last week was the look above and fail of the Friday high on Tuesday. From then on, it was pretty much look to find a spot to buy the dip, hold runners for multi-day trend moves in this very strong bull trend currently. We are in a base rally mode, so it's best to trade around a core long position and try to hold those multi-day runners as we continue to make new highs into all-time highs. Strong upside setups continue to be failed breakdowns of overnight lows or prior day lows, and last week the best setups were the 66.19 back test after FOMC and the 66.80 failed breakdown on Thursday. Now let's talk about the plan for next week. We're past OPEX now. The economic calendar for this week is lighter, primarily focusing on GDP and PCE data on Thursday and Friday. And the initial reaction to FOMC was positive as the expected rate cut was confirmed, and the Fed continues to guide for 2 additional cuts into the end of the year. So this week, we're in a very strong bull trend currently. It's best to continue to look to buy dips as long as we're above this trend line at 66.82. Everyone's looking to time the pullback, but it's much easier to wait for the market to give us a short signal and then react accordingly. Our weekly pivots for this week will be 66.82, 66.62, 66.20, and 65.16 if we really get a sell-off next week. We have established a new low time frame box from 66.19 to 66.82, which we broke out Thursday and then held on a back test in order to push to new all-time highs into the Friday close. Early in the week, you'll want to monitor for buyers' ability to sustain above 66.22 and 66.82 for direct continuation higher. The larger downside move doesn't happen until 66.82, the top of the prior box, fails, and especially this trend line at 66.62 fails, which could lead to a range traversal down to the bottom of the range at 66.19. As long as buyers continue to hold above the top of this box at 66.82, that favors looking to buy dips, trying to get position long for the break 67.22 for continuation back up, and then really start to look short if 66.62 is offered for that downside move. And if the prior FOMC low fails at 66.11 and the 66.19 area fails, that's where the downside really opens up for a larger move all the way down into 65.16. So we'll wait for the market to give us a reason to look short. For me, that would be the failure and reoffer of 66.62, and especially the failure of 66.19 and the FOMC low at 66.11. I think shorts can really open up there. A long liquidation likely that would potentially take us all the way down into 65.16. Now for the top setups to watch for trading next week, very hard to short until we get some of those triggers. Like I said, you can look for shorts at the Friday close, the spike high into the Friday close here around 67.32, especially if that were to sweep and then fail back under 67.22. That could open up a little bit of early reversion back into 66.82 early in the week. The better short is if 66.62 fails and is offered, especially if it's reoffered. You could look to be short for a move into 66.43 and lower. Now on the long side, if you're looking for areas to get position long, I would watch for longs on a back test of 66.82, the top of the box. You could also watch for a failed breakdown of the Thursday low at 66.70. And if we do get a larger pullback, if we do see that FOMC low, that's an A+ setup. Watch for a failed breakdown of the FOMC low at 66.11. That's a very strong long setup setup that could see rotation back up into 66.43 and 66.62 and potentially the top of the box at 66.82. That's how I'll be trading ES this week. If you want to trade live with me every day, join me at Trade with Insight.